Namaste, everyone. Sometimes the smallest steps in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. Just how I took my steps towards my North Star. Hello, everyone. I'm Dhyashri, a 21-year-old founder, dreamer, and above all, a dancer who once learned to rise on bruised toes and broken spirit. Today, standing here on this red dot feels surreal. Because not too long ago, I was just a girl dancing in her room, chasing a rhythm no one else could hear, trying to make sense of the chaos inside her. I didn't come from privilege, I came from persistence. I came from a place where passion had to be louder than fear, where every fall on stage was followed by a choice. Stay down or get back up and dance again. Founding something at 20, building something that carries my voice, my vision, didn't start with full of confidence. It started with a lot of doubts, with a lot of rejection, with nights I questioned myself whether I was enough as a creator, as a leader, and as a human being. But slowly, one step at a time, I began to build something that mattered to me and to others. This is not just a speech. It's a story of failing forward, of building something from fragments, of moving to my own beat when the world played a different song. So, if you have ever felt like your dreams are too loud for reality, this one is for you. I was just 2.5 when my mom took me to the only Bharatanatyam dance class in our town, Lanka. She didn't go there because I asked. I could barely speak. She went there because she had dreams, not for herself, but for me. She had seen enough of what life could take from a woman when she had nothing to hold on to. So without this world's approval, she chose to give me something that she never had in her life, a choice. Dance was never a common path in my family, though many could sing. But my mother, she's a stubborn, fiercely so. People around her whispered, "ये तो बच्ची को बिगाड़ ही डालेगी." But she just kept going, working day and night to make sure I grew both in studies and stages, never letting anyone point fingers. And that time, I realized my North Star was one and only dance. I think I was too small to notice the sacrifices she made when she didn't buy a single sari for herself for more than 10 years. But she never forgot to buy me that expensive Bharatanatyam dress, the best one always. When I scored well in my 10 boards, everyone said, "Science le lo, acha hoga." And I agreed, because my dream shifted. I have lost my aunt and then my uncle, who were my safe space, who were my people. So I thought, I'll become a doctor, and I will never let anyone die. And with the money I earn, I'll open a dance school where people can learn dance for free. And that was my North Star then, to heal and to give. So I started very small. I started teaching few kids at home. And then one day, I got my first payment, 700 rupees from 3 little kids. I felt genuinely rich. I had it all planned. First, I bought a dress for Radha Krishna ji, and then a sari for my mom. On her birthday, I gifted her a yellow chiffon sari for 480 rupees. It wasn't just a gift. It was a piece of my dream wrapped in love. I don't remember the exact moment when life started to fall apart, but I do remember how it felt. The girl who danced on stages was standing outside an operation theater, silently, alone in the dark, with only a street dog by her side, crying but quietly, because I had to stay strong. I had to be the strongest one. My mother, my lifeline, was fighting a tumor she had carried for years, silently, selflessly. And that night, something in me shifted. I looked at her, fragile, yet fighting, and made a promise to myself I will never let her suffer again. After the surgery, we came back to our small town, and I became the sole earner of the family at the age of 17. I started teaching anyone who believed in me from 1st to 10th grade, teaching in between grief and responsibility, holding myself together with borrowed strength. And for a brief while, it worked. Money was coming in and we were breathing easier. But life doesn't knock when it comes crashing, right? My 12 boards arrived. And with that, a silence inside me. I had lost the girl who once dreamed of being a doctor, who once promised to save lives. At that time, all I wanted was to survive. NEET results came, they weren't enough, and I didn't have the courage to break my heart again and again by trying, so I let go. I moved to Guwahati for my further education, hoping for a fresh start, but even there, peace was very hard to find. To keep myself afloat, I worked at events constantly, day and night, but my professor didn't understand the chaos I was juggling. So once again, I had to leave. And the chapter closed before it could begin. By this time, my body was there, but my soul was quietly dying. And just when I thought I had nothing to left into me, life or maybe God had sent someone, a friend or stranger, to me. We were sitting in my college canteen, and that's when he came up with an idea that would unknowingly rewrite everything. You're a Bharatanatyam dancer, right? Why don't you start teaching Bharatanatyam online? At first, I doubted. Because who would even want to learn from me when the world was chasing modern dance? But then, with the last hope in my heart, I said yes. We didn't have much. My mom's comfiest sari, a single ring light, and my friend's phone. We recorded 3 videos, uploaded 3, day by day. And the next morning, I woke up with something I hadn't felt from a very, very long time. Joy. One of my videos had crossed 100K views and my followers jumped from 10 to 10,000 overnight. And I got my first ever online Bharatanatyam students within 10 days. And that time I realized my North Star had always been dance. Even when I lost my way, it never stopped shining. In these years, I have had faced hundreds of challenges, but I never felt like I should give up or I should just leave dance. And that's when I realized, when you love something so deeply, when you're so focused to achieve something, you just neglect all the struggles and pain behind it. You know, from my childhood, I've always been taught that dance is just for entertainment, and that after a certain age, you just can't learn anything new. But when I started teaching with zero expectation, I discovered something society never tells us. That we are constantly made to believe what we cannot do, but rarely encouraged to chase what we truly love for. Every single time, in these years, every single day, a lot of thousands of women have reached out to me, each carrying their own story. Some couldn't learn as when they are a child, but they are learning now with the money they earn. Few just buried their dreams under marriage and responsibilities, but after 45, they dare to begin again. Few are as little as 5, but their moms are too busy to give them that chance. And every little moment, every story remind me how often people get stuck, unable to move to their own rhythm. Yes, I've been mocked, judged, even humiliated, but none of it compares to the pride I feel when a 3 years old showers me with kisses after class, or when a 45-year-old woman calls me guru with the tears of respect in her eyes. Sometimes the nights turn hazy. A very negative comment shakes me up. Days when I am too tired and then I close my eyes just to see my North Star shining so bright that I forget about all that. And I want to end this speech with a very good note that I have learned from dance. Age is never a barrier. Society is never the limit. The only prison is our own fear. So don't take permission, live your own life, dance to your own beat, because when you do that, you just don't change your life. You become someone else's inspiration too. And that is the most beautiful rhythm of life. To end this speech, now, to lighten this mood, I want to show you a piece dedicated to Lord Rama, which is composed in Ragam Malika and Talam Malika. Why am I showing this piece to you? Because in this whole piece, every stanza will have their own rag and own tal and own speciality. It is composed by my guru, Narmada, and I have learned from Guru Suma. Now please allow me to show you the piece.
जय जानकी रमण जय विभीषण शरण जय सरोरुह चरण जय दीन करुणा जय 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 जानकी रमण जय विभीषण शरण जय सरोरुह चरण जय दीन करुणा जय 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 जानकी रमण जय विभीषण शरण जय सरोरुह चरण जय दीन करुणा जय 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 लोक शारण्य जय भक्त कारुण्य जय दिव्य लावण्य जय जगत् पुण्य जय 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 लोक शारण्य जय भक्त कारुण्य जय दिव्य लावण्य जय जगत् पुण्य जय जय शरणु शरणु सुरेन्द्र सन्नुत शरणु श्री सति वल्लभा शरणु शरणु सुरेन्द्र सन्नुत शरणु श्री सति वल्लभा शरणु शरणु सुरेन्द्र सन्नुत शरणु श्री सति वल्लभा शरणु राक्षस गर्भ संदर शरणु वेंकट नायक शरणु राक्षस गर्भ संदर शरणु वेंकट नायक स्वामी श्री रघुनायक स्वामी श्री रघुनायक विजय वेंकट नायक